Ever feel like you have big dreams but no energy to make them happen? You think, I'll do it tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. You have big dreams and ambitions and believe you have the talent, but every time you try to be disciplined, after a few days, you return to scrolling in social media. So why does this happen? Simply because you are stupid and you listen to some YouTuber who thinks only about views and makes money from you. And they don't care if that will hurt you or not. And I was just like you, getting scammed every day by stupid ways in the internet. But after I watched Whiplash, everything changed. I spent hours analyzing Mr. Fletcher's personality and understanding his philosophy of discipline. But to be honest with you, not everyone can apply the concept of emotional battery to their lives. Only 1% can. So I hope you to watch the video to the end to understand everything, because everything will change after this video.
Do you know what's killing your discipline? Not your lack of will, not your habits, not your morning routine. It's your emotions. Feelings are the main reason for being disciplined. Without them, it's literally impossible to stay disciplined.
2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rushing or dragging?
Rushing.
So you do know the difference.
And I'm tired of all these discipline gurus in the internet saying don't listen to your feelings or feelings don't matter. That's completely bullshit. What I understand is that the reason most people fail at discipline is not because they're lazy. It's because we are trying to use willpower instead of emotional energy. For years, I was the definition of ambitious but lazy. I wanted big things, great career, fitness, relationships, but I couldn't stay disciplined to save my life. Every day, I buy planners, download a lot of apps, watch motivational videos. But 2 weeks later, then I found myself getting back again to my bad habit. Until I watched Whiplash. After that, everything changed. Fletcher is a man who has any philosophy. He knows that the secret to great success is discipline. As Cristiano Ronaldo says, talent without hard work is nothing. Fletcher's philosophy is reflected in this scene. There are no two words more harmful than good job.
There are no two words in the English language more harmful than good job.
For him, if you feel that you're doing good, then you would stop. Because your mind would start to say to you to take a break because you are doing good. But after you do a good job but you still feel worried, then you will do more and more and more. So everything is about your emotions. That's what nobody tells you. Emotions are the main driver of a human beings. If we can control these emotions, discipline would be naturally and easy. The way you will feel is the way you act. Think about it. When you have been most disciplined in your life, when you are passionate about something and when something mattered deeply to you. Neuroscience confirms this. Discipline is not located in a single part of the brain, like fear or anxiety. It's a circuit, a positive emotional pattern that involves multiple brain regions working together. When we try to be disciplined without engaging our emotions, we are fighting against our own nature. This is why someone can be incredibly disciplined about one thing they care about, but completely fail at something else. So the question now is how we can find a deep emotion inside ourselves that will lead us to work like animals. So I think we need Mr. Fletcher to explain this point. After we know that emotion is the secret, we need to understand the battery concept. Your emotions are like this battery that has a green emotion, which is a good emotion, and a red emotion, which is a bad emotion. So the key is simply to remove all the red emotion from the battery and make the battery full of a green emotion. So to understand how we can control our emotions, we need Mr. Fletcher's rays. The difference between the average and the great person is the ego. If you fill your battery from the ego emotion, nothing can stop you. In Whiplash, Peter knew exactly what he was doing, was carrying Andrew, pushing him and making him feel like a failure. He wants to push Andrew's ego to the end. Then Andrew has the choice, give up, or to prove to himself that he's more than others. The reason that made Andrew disciplined, that he was afraid to mess up, afraid to disappoint, and afraid to be average. His ego is killing him every single day. His ego made him practice until his hands bleed. Ego become his motivation for being disciplined. Now we'll see how Fletcher breaks Andrew's ego throughout the movie. From their first meeting, Fletcher enters Andrew's practice room, asks him a lot of confusing questions, just to make Andrew feel like he's the wanted man, the man who has the talent, and the one who can't break the limits. But then he makes him play, then walks out without a word. He did this to break Andrew's ego. He wanted it to show that he missed that eternity. Then comes the famous scene. Fletcher hires a chair at Andrew's head, slaps him from the right and from the left without any mercy in Fletcher's eyes, and insult him in front of the entire band. All this humiliation was orchestrated by Fletcher just to make Andrew decide whether to confuse himself that he's just an average like others, or to do his best to prove to himself that he is different. And what happens? Andrew breaks up with his girlfriend to focus only on drumming. He also letters himself from his family, and his ego and the fear of failure become the motivation that made Andrew reshape himself into a new version. Each humiliation made Andrew think about one thing: I'm needed to work more and get better. And the result started to reveal themselves. Andrew has improved dramatically, and his technical skills were at their peak.
This is where the real lesson is. Strong emotions, especially ego, can be the secret to building discipline. When you feel something deeply, we take action. Think about it. How many times have you suddenly gotten super focused because a deadline was coming up fast? How many times have you worked harder because you didn't want to disappoint someone? That's the power of emotion. But the problem is with the red emotion. But I found a way to let this feeling get out of you. Because if you put a lot of stress on yourself, you will finally explode, exactly like Andrew. The secret is simply to accept the red feelings. Humans naturally like to live in illusion because accepting feelings will make them feel weak. Let me give you an example to help you understand. Michael is a 17-year-old boy who's being abused every day at school. But Michael will not accept the idea that he is weak. And because of this weakness, he's abused every day. Michael being lying to himself, saying that they are jealous of him, which is why he's being bullied. Michael's battery being to store its feelings because he knows deep down that he's lying to himself. When Michael starts studying, he only studies for 2 hours. Then he feels tired and he'll be distracted because of the red feelings inside him. But if Michael had chosen the second option and started being honest with himself and decided to be stronger, everyone would respect him. Then he will start to feel his ego become stronger in everything. Then we will see that Michael being to spend longer hours studying and also begin to train to become stronger. So when you accept the truth and came to terms with your feelings, the red feelings will turn into a green feelings and they will become your motivation for discipline. Throughout the movie, we see that Mr. Fletcher wants them to accept the truth of what they feel. And Andrew is the only person who responds to Mr. Fletcher. So we see him being a monster in discipline. The best kind of emotion is the mix of being afraid to fail and loving what you do. It's not just about running from fear and pressure. It's also about chasing what you love. The best way I've used to get rid of these red feelings is to pray. When you pray and pour out all these feelings to God, then accept them and trust that God is with you, these feelings will turn from red to green. So I believe that is the best way to remove the negative feelings. If you have any other methods, let me know in the comment. Peace.